again, geocoding is, and high-resolution geocoding is a driver for this. Then we move into risk indices. This is how we rate risk, and what you're seeing is an example of some work in Australia, one of our bushfire rating tools. We don't always necessarily need to know how a fire behaves. One of the key statistics in bushfire is that the further away you are from vegetation, the less likely it is your building's going to be destroyed. I mean, that's an obvious spatial pattern, and just shows that in a risk index we can build. You're seeing polygons there. So the further we get away, any property that's in the outer buffered area that you can just make out in the map is going to be the least likely to be affected by a bushfire. So that lets us at least understand and to a degree quantify the risk associated with properties in and around vegetation in Australia. So then the most complicated form of modelling is when we need to understand the physical phenomenon. For this, we turn to third-party catastrophe models, RMSAR and ECHOCATS, the names many are familiar with. We also have our own tools in-house. And the nature of these models are that they they model the financial parts of the insurance policies, they model the hazard itself, they model the vulnerability, and they compute losses. Now these are probabilistic models, so they run through lots and lots of synthetic events and produce statistics on a portfolio, typical numbers such as return period, exceedance, average annual loss. So I don't want to elaborate too much on that, but obviously these are the heavyweight number crunchers that produce computed catastrophe model losses. Just as an overview of what we do after natural disasters, I guess there's several reasons that we need to respond after an event, and from an insurer's perspective, we obviously want to identify insurance policies that have potentially been affected by, let's say, a tsunami. The image, incidentally, you're seeing you can just make out the blue line along the Sendai coastline. That's the area affected after the tsunami. We also, maybe after a flood, we want to mitigate against further losses, so we might want to identify buildings that we could protect. Insurers probably